Let me come in here. I was telling you about the Free Zones Authority and some outfits already that are beneficiaries to large sums. I don't want to mention, but we know them. Some producing bananas, cultivating bananas. I'm sure you know exactly which ones I'm talking about. So many of them. And others are looking at this gargantuan sum of $250 million. And I get your point. It should be about the impact, not necessarily about how much. Some economists have looked at it and said, you are getting tranches of about how much? 600 million from the IMF, and you are giving out tax waivers to the sum of about half of that. Does that make any sense at all? But when it comes to these tax waivers, you also say that the other side is playing politics. I do recall that during their tenure, there were also issues that came up, and your side was, you lampooned them basically.
Specifically.
But I mean, there's a plethora of them.
No,
when it comes to tax waivers, it's an issue that even within their tenure has been raised. I could fish for.
No, but the NDC government was a pro-tax. NDC, they are pro-tax. We came and repealed a lot of their tax laws.
And you added other taxes.
Few others, I must admit, until 2021. But look at the record. When we came in, we repealed and even reduced some of the taxes. All right? And people were even wondering, how come you are repealing some tax laws, you are giving incentives, and at the same time, you are implementing social intervention programs like the free SHS?
Right.
All right? So we are not a pro-tax government. We don't believe in taxation. We believe in giving space to the private sector to thrive.
I mean, the vice president said that.
When it's so necessary,
you wanted to focus on production.
Yes, of course, and
but
obviously
currently you have since you go there. I mean,
yeah, please.
There are about 22 tax handles on a number of items being brought into the country. I'm sure you've followed our conversations with people from Abosuokai and others. Even if you go to a restaurant, we are the only country still holding on to the COVID-19 levy. How do you respond to that in reference to what you're saying?
So, like I said, NPP would impose taxation when it's extremely essential to do so. Yeah. All right? And that is exactly what we've done. We are not a pro-tax government that believes in tax them to generate revenue. We believe that give space to the private sector and let them increase production and employ more. And through that expansion, government will get the needed revenue. It's what we've been doing. During the COVID, we had free water. Government invested heavily in terms of supply or supplies for people who were very vulnerable.
It's good you added that.
Yes.
Because it's not everybody.
Even for electricity, those in that vulnerable bracket had some space. Apart from the general electricity tariff reductions that we enjoyed. And this fact must be known and must be out there, that during the NDC era, Ghanaians cried on the government to look at the electricity tariffs. Our former president was very clear that because of the high cost of production, it was impossible. In fact, he again related to the nursing training allowance and the teacher training allowance that government was being squeezed. So these were interventions that government would have to do away with, and government could not fund it.
Okay, so let me...
I'll finish. Let me develop my point. Let me get done.
Sure.
Now, on the basis of that, the NDC government made Ghanaians to pay the full cost in terms of electricity tariffs. But we came in. Various reductions were announced. Households enjoyed between 17 to 19%. Industries enjoyed tariff reductions up to 30%. Never has this ever happened, that a government announcing major electricity tariff reduction in this republic. It has never happened before. It has never happened before. And if you compare, though from 2020 and now, we have been having tariff adjustment, upward adjustment. But if you compare in percentage terms, whereas we are increasing an average of 9% per annum, in the NDC era, the 8 years that they came, if you look at the numbers, it's around 40% average. So I'm saying that things are not perfect.
Right.
But things are better compared to the situation we found ourselves under our friends who are now in opposition.
Okay, so